All right, we are live at the Millville Studios for another River Talk Extra. I am Pittsburgh's moral compass, Brian Crawford, and across the table from me, we have Drew Donegan of Gene the Werewolf, probably the most exciting band in Pittsburgh,
Wow.
right?
I
mean,
like
you guys are.
I like that you say that.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
guys are well known. Everybody knows who you are. You're definitely. I think you've been on my network more than any other band. So right there, that kind of makes you, a higher status.
That's correct.
Right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was surprised when I came in that the previous host knew the band. So
see,
yeah.
I mean, he probably is a regular listener of River Talk, and he's like, "Damn, I heard these guys twice already." In for
What is this
round
guy
3.
doing here
Have
again?
to be good. There's a weird noise on my headphones, by the way. I don't know if you could check that. Maybe kill that fan. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm excited to have you on. So you guys have a new release, and you guys you've been around since forever. You've been around for it's 9 years now.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 years in next October.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
very good. Great,
Yeah.
great math. Yeah, it's been a long time. I actually wrote a little thing on our Facebook today. It was saying some things about the album, and I was like, wow, it's been 10 years almost,
Yeah,
and we're coming up on
almost.
that. I was like, geez,
That's crazy.
yeah, it is, but it's been awesome, and we're excited about this release. Just like everyone's always excited about the new release, right? It's always
Sure.
the best, but it's just like I really do think that we look at it very objectively, and it is our best album.
You guys have been around for a while. You're definitely very popular among local bands in the Pittsburgh scene. Did your popularity come overnight?
I think we had a bit of a head start on things because the origin of the band came from 3 other bands that we were all in previously.
Okay.
So John was in Punchline, and then the rest of the guys, excluding myself, were in a band called the Berlin Project, and I was in a band called Clearview Kills. And all 3 of those bands, both on the local and national level, as far as some of it was concerned, had done fairly well. So, I mean, geez, by all measures of success, like what is successful, I don't even know at this point. But I feel like we didn't have to start out, at least with this band, to play in shows to like 10 people. Like our first show was at Club Cafe and it was sold out. Like,
Oh, nice.
So it was
That's
like
cool.
a bit of a jump start, but it's still when you're branding something new from the start. There's a lot of acclimating to that, and it's even though we had a bit of a jump start, it's not to say that we didn't have to go through that acclimation
Oh, sure.
process.
Yeah, no matter what you're doing, it definitely takes time. It makes it easier if you have some sort of name,
Yeah.
notoriety, but it's definitely, you got to get people involved, especially on something on a local level. I feel like it's easier if you have like a big name behind you.
Yeah.
Because people already are accustomed to that, and there's a lot of free publicity that comes through that. But to just try to start from scratch, there's definitely a process that you have to go through
Yeah,
to kind
yeah.
of get that.
And we've all done that. It's
Name
not to say that we
recognition.
haven't done that. Everyone did that in previous
Oh, yeah.
efforts. Like everyone starts somewhere. But yeah, Gene was just lucky in that sense that it was like, well, everyone kind of knows these bands. Though I think it was a bit of culture shock for so my band, Clearview Kills was a hardcore band. I'm trying to show people who are into that band this like zany, crazy, over the top classic rock band I'm in, and they're like, this isn't for
Not
me.
their thing, yeah.
And I think everyone had that problem, but that was kind of the point of Gene too when we got started, was to be something way left of center. So
Well, do you think that in some ways has its advantages, that it's something new? Do you think it could probably maybe expose people to a new type of music? Not, I mean, everybody has some exposure to classic rock, but new
Right.
classic, new rock in that style
right.
is kind of not prevalent today. I feel like most bands are going in a different direction than that.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's a bit of our own fault too. We're in this band that kind of does something that by all measures really isn't cool.
But you've made it cool. That's the thing, though.
I hope
mean,
so.
I mean, it seems like you're a household name. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a DVE listener.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm not listening to The River's Edge.
Right.
But I've heard of you guys so many times. You're in so many different festivals, so many different events.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, I feel like it's taken off.
Yeah, yeah, and it has. I mean, like, crazy cool things have happened for this band. Yeah, like you mentioned, DVE. Like, I think when we started this band, we were always like, well, this sounds just like everything they have on DVE. This is like AC/DC, Aerosmith, Def Leppard, type of thing. Boy, like, wouldn't it be cool? Because we all grew up listening to when radio was massive. Radio ruled the world.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, boy, if we could ever be on DVE in any sense, whether they're just talking about us or they have us in on the morning show, or play music regularly, that would just be like the ultimate dream.
I feel like there's a struggle
It
in
is.
WDVE, and maybe you can't comment on this because of your relationship with WDVE, but I feel like on a local level, they're trying to get involved with the music scene, but I feel like maybe the Clear Channel overlords are kind of frowning against that because it seems like there's a struggle there where they're trying to get local music involved, but at the
Right.
same time, if you don't listen to it at in the morning show at certain points in time or Sunday night with Val,
Right.
you're pretty much just getting the same old playlist replayed over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying, though I don't know for certain, is probably rather accurate.
Like maybe the people in the local scene, they're interested in the local music. They know that there's something real here in Pittsburgh, but maybe
They do, and
maybe the people above them don't really get it.
true, but like John Machida is and Val, they do the programming oversee
Yeah.
the DVE playlist, and for them to have taken a chance on Gene the
Sure.
Werewolf and put it in and play it as
And
much
they've done
as,
that with other bands as well.
play it as much as they play Metallica. It's like unheard of, especially on that level. It's
Oh,
not it's
yeah.
not college radio or not independent radio. It's Clear Channel Radio that at any given time there's thousands of listeners.
But I think it's a credit to them more so than the
Sure,
national brand because Val knows what she's doing. I mean, if you listen to the Homegrown show in the evening, she knows who the local bands are. She's playing them. You look at the coffee house and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that Randy Bauman, the way that he's gotten involved with the local music scene, not only in just having people on the morning show, but he also knows his worth in nightclubs. So he's done this thing where he's doing the Randy Bauman ramble, where they assemble 20 local musicians from different bands across the city, and then they play these cover sets at the Rex or the Thunderbird in Lawrenceville, and it's just like Randy brings out those people. I mean, to be honest, it's a fantastic show, but
Yes.
his value there is like that's what's bringing out the folks, and he showcases all of this local talent, because he knows what's going on here, and he sees that probably more than ever. I think that there's a lot of talent, especially in rock and roll in the city, that isn't getting a national look like our hip hop scene has gotten with Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa, but there hasn't been a rock band that has really been like taken off and toured and it's been their full-time job. And I think that Randy, John Machida, and Val Porter are noticing that amongst others at the station and really getting involved. It would be great if they could incorporate a lot more of it, but I do think that they're probably pleased by what they can do.
I believe,
to a
I would
certain
imagine
level.
so.
Yeah.
Randy plays, I believe, in one of the new tracks on your new album, The Loner. Is that correct?
He does, yeah. He plays
And that's
on,
coming out Friday.
it does, yeah.
Yes, this Friday.
Randy plays on the 10th and final song called The Best I Can.
Okay.
And I think he also plays on the 9th track, too. The name of the track.
Will he be at the event? It's
escapes
going to
me.
be 7 p.m. at the Ultra Bar.
I do not know.
Do not know.
Yeah.
So that's a surprise.
Randy
So you
will
gotta
remain a mystery.
check out. You got to come down Friday at 7 p.m. to see if you can see Randy Bauman. You will be able to see me, so it's definitely worth the admission right there.
That is
But,
true, yeah.
Yeah, I will be there. But if you see me, leave me alone.
You,
I'm there to enjoy the music.
you should play on the next Gene the Werewolf album. That cowbell.
That
you just
cowbell,
had.
yeah, we got the cowbell here.
More
Yeah.
cowbell.
I
Always
could do
more
that. You could
cowbell.
always have more cowbell. So.
Yeah, but yeah, having Randy play on the album amongst the other guests that were on it was just totally an honor. He was a guy I listened to forever. On the radio, and
That's kind of cool, a cool experience, isn't it? I was recently on a discussion panel with Jim Krenn,
yeah,
who
Jimmy's
used to
great.
do he used to do the morning show with Randy on DV. He's now on Q92, and he does a show with the Pittsburgh Podcast Network. But that was kind of cool to be on a discussion panel with someone who I grew up listening to. It's got to be cool to be on an album with someone you grew up listening to.
Yeah, man, totally. It's like Randy was mind blowing to have on the record, and then John, or Gene, if you will, is really close with Reb Beach from Winger and Whitesnake.
Nice,
And
very cool.
Reb played on the album, and it's
That's
just like,
awesome.
He's like a guitar virtuoso that like everyone pays attention to.
Yes.
How good this guy is, and to have that guy play on the record is just mind blowing. It's so cool,
Yeah,
and
that's
never take it for
incredible.
granted. And I can't believe these people want to be involved with us, but it. Whether they see something or they do it out of the goodness of their heart or they're into it or whatever, it's just super cool, whatever combination of those things it is.
I've got Drew Donegan of Gene the Werewolf here across the table from me at Millvale Studios on the River's Edge Radio Network. You can find us at riversedgepgh.com, powered by NGL WebTech. Search out NGL WebTech for your website needs, and we're also on the TuneIn Radio app. Drew, what's different about this album? What sets this album apart from everything you've done previously?
I think that on this album we kind of found our footing, so to speak. Coming like I said earlier, coming from three different types of music into this band, it was kind of hard to figure out. Though we had this idea of, hey, want to be this over-the-top classic rock thing that's really fun and brings that fun element back to music. There was a bit of, if you listen to our first album, there's a whole lot more pop rock, on that release than this one. This
Okay.
This is much more rock forward. There's dark, deep tunes on here that are almost heavy, and that would have never found its place on, say, our first album, Light Me Up. And then on our second release is kind of a mixture of these two, the bookends.
Okay.
Whereas a little bit of pop rock stuff, and there's also us finding that AC/DC thing going on. And now I think we've come full circle and kind of know what this band is good at. That's what happens when you play in a band for 10 years.
An interesting point. You said that you wanted to be fun. And I'm not knocking any of the local music because this is one of the only stations I listen to because the music is so good. But a lot of it is very serious
Right.
nowadays. It's not always fun. I think a lot of times people are maybe looking for a more serious angle. There's nothing wrong with that, but that does kind of set you apart in a way in the local music scene, right? The fact that people can just go and Mark Seiler, we had him on, local blues artist, and he mentioned that he wanted music that people could dance to, and that was his big thing. He wanted just something that people could dance to. He's a local blues artist, and I kind of understood his point because a lot of music you hear, and I feel like the metal scene is really on the rise in Pittsburgh, and I'm a huge fan of a lot of the metal bands we have, whether it be like Only Flesh or Grey Walker. We were talking about them off air, or I'm trying to think who else we have. Talion, Claymore, lots of great metal bands in the area, but they're definitely not the most. No, I wouldn't say they're not fun. They are fun, but they're not a party. Everybody can just kind of
It's a different kind of.
Yeah,
fun.
it's a different kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's super important. Like, I love all types of music.
Sure.
Just like everybody, but it's. I think there was a place for that when we started this band, where especially like in the mid 2000s, there was like everyone was really serious, and it was like, let's not forget that you can drink beer and listen to music, and it doesn't have to be some sort of like, poetry letter to your girlfriend or talk about suicide or whatever. All these things are politics. All important. They all have their own place.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, let's have a little bit of fun and let our hair down, because that's what rock music is, and it's just kind of like a little bit of a forgotten past that we wanted to bring some attention to, and it's awesome, man. I love music, and I love going to see a band that's fun. And I love drinking beer and watching music.
You can drink some beer at the Altar Bar.
You can.
This Friday, 7 p.m. And anybody who goes, you can get a free CD, or a CD included, I should say.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's awesome.
Do people still listen to CDs? Is the question in the Gene the Werewolf camp current day.
Here
I
and
don't-
there. In my car, I will sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Of course, I'm also one of those people that wants to go and buy a bunch of vinyl, so I could be the odd
Yeah, it's
See,
tricky.
I'm really lame in the fact that I need like kind of force fed. So I listen to my station a lot, but I don't like have like this huge library of music. All of my my library, I guess, is the station's library, and I guess I can kind of cheat in the fact that I can control the station from my cell phone and queue up the next song. So I kind of have those omnipotent powers.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's kind of cool in a way, but I don't know. I tend to get force fed, but I do, if it's a CD that I really do like, I will listen to it non-stop for like a couple weeks, and then I don't listen to it for a while. So that's
Right.
kind of like the thing that I do. I buy a CD, and I think the last CD I bought and did that with was probably Elevations, which is a jazz band
Cool.
in Pittsburgh. They had a new release, and I bought it, and I listened to it like every day for a while on my way here and there, and then all of a sudden I just stopped.
Right.
And I haven't listened to it since.
But it's
No.
good that that still exists, that people still... I mean, we just played a show at Stage AE with Steel Panther, and I don't know if you guys are
Okay.
familiar with them.
Yes.
Crazy, like over the... yeah, like if I want to say we're crazy over the top, this is like tenfold. But it's a comedy act, almost. And I don't want to be a funny guy. Like, we were making music to make music, and we're serious about that. But we sold like so many CDs, and I was like, well, this is a good sign. There's people out here that still listen to music. But is it just to that demographic that wants to purchase the CD? Because I think that a majority of the time I'm almost guilty of just being a Spotify guy through and through. You know,
So I don't do Spotify, but I don't know why. I just don't.
Yeah, it's a nice system.
I
I mean,
guess my thing is I want to be exposed to new music, and
Yeah.
I feel like with something like Spotify, for the most part, you have to know what you want to listen
oh,
to.
guilty.
And you end up listening to the same stuff all the time. Where I want to
Totally
listen to
guilty.
new stuff, and yeah,
Yeah, totally guilty. And I think that that's going to hurt music in a major way, though, that I do it. I tell people all the time, like coworkers, my wife, friends, what are you listening to? Anything. Just give it to me, and I'll look it up on Spotify and listen to the record during my day, and just, try, because I want to
Sure.
still be exposed to new stuff. But it's such an easy medium to get into and just, listen to countless hours of music. But you're right. It's just, you're going to things that you know. You listen to everyone's back catalog, but then it's just like not fun. You're not learning anything new. But
yeah, and I like to, I don't know, I like to be exposed. Like with this network, we built a network where we literally have everything from bluegrass to heavy metal to big band,
Right.
all in the same
that's awesome.
24-hour stream. So when you're listening, you are exposed to not only different bands that you may have never heard before, but completely different genres of music
Yeah.
that maybe you wouldn't be exposed to. And honestly, I thought when I started it that it would be a little weird, just the transitions, but it seems to actually blend pretty well,
dig it.
surprisingly. At least I dig it.
Yeah.
Our numbers have gone up, so I
Cool,
mean,
yeah.
at least they haven't gone down. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but-
imagine people are liking it. But yeah.
I think it's that's what way is music going to go as far as direction, because I feel like there isn't a place to find like new music anymore, like Spotify and
And
Pandora.
you can't find it on the radio, with the exception of, like you said, like the work that Val and some of these people do to bring in some local music.
Right.
Everything else through these major corporations, it's all kind of prearranged, and you hear a lot of the same music over and over and over again. Like Mark Madden, we were talking about him beforehand. He used to have music in between his show, and I was so thankful when he got rid of music, because I could literally name the next song that was
Yeah.
coming up in the playlist, because it was literally just the same thing every day, and you didn't hear anything new, and it was just like
Mark's a superpower, man. I think that he has so much value at the station that he said, I don't want music on my show anymore. People that listen to my show don't want music on my
Yeah.
show anymore.
And I wouldn't have minded it if he had music that was maybe different, but
Well, did you hear how much he complained about it?
yes.
He would come back, and I remember hearing him come back from like a Rise Against song and being like, oh man, that sucked.
I know one time he said
sucked."
alternative was supposed to be not supposed to be alternative to vomit. So you know.
Yeah, it's hilarious because he's like as I told you, he's a Gene the Werewolf fan. He's
He
an
is,
80s
yeah.
guy.
He's a rock and roll guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he doesn't want to hear like
he's Whitesnake is his favorite band. So,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so I just don't think a lot of what they play in their playlist jives
The
with
thing
him.
is I did like a lot of what they play at the X, but they play things so many times that I end up not liking some songs that I originally liked because I mean my palette's pretty, diverse. As I said, I was hooked on Elevations for a while, and they're a
Right.
local jazz band. But then I get songs such as "Bliss in This" was stuck in my head recently of Wolves in Sheep's Clothing, which is
Yeah.
nothing at all like Elevation. So I get stuff stuck in my head from all across the board. But even I would get sick of listening to what was being played just because it's the same thing over and over again.
I've tried to get into the head of the decision makers up there, and
Yeah.
I think that they kind of suggest that it's a necessary evil. I don't necessarily know. Everyone likes Alice in Chains, right? But I mean, how many more times do we all want to hear Rooster? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel that they feel our pain, but it's just a necessary evil.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some people they're on autopilot and they just want to hear the same
Yeah,
crap
yeah.
all the time.
So I just think that they have to cater to a certain level. But again, I'm not the end all be all know all of this subject.
Sure. Well, I think there definitely is a place for that because there are some people who are just going to go on their autopilot. But I think there also needs to be alternatives for people who aren't, and I'm hoping that we maybe will fill that void. Now you mentioned CDs and your worry about whether CDs are going to stay prevalent. What else do you sell? What other merch do you sell? I'm interested because a lot of bands will find different niches on things that they can sell to try to market to people to raise the money to
Right.
continue to do shows or go on tour or record albums or whatever else they need to do.
We've been pretty boring in that department. We are strictly a T-shirt and record band, but we talk all the time. Like if the band really gained speed, like nothing would be cooler than having a Gene bobblehead.
That
like,
would be cool.
Nothing would. There would be so many cool things that we could do. I think we did koozies for a while, which was pretty
See,
cool.
that I would like.
Yeah.
That I would get. X-Gents, they have like these coasters, which I like because I
Yeah.
can use those here in the studio.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I would love to have a koozie. And I
Yeah,
could keep my Coke cold.
Yeah, I think we did that a while ago, but there was something we were just talking about the other day. It escapes me right now, but we're always thinking like if the band was gained like a ton of traction and could sell producing bobbleheads, I imagine would just be outrageously expensive.
I would imagine so.
And you would
yeah.
have to create probably 500 pieces of it.
Yeah.
So like
Probably.
and
yeah,
they'd
that
probably
would
have to
be-
sell it $20 a piece. I don't know if there's 500 people in the world that would want a Gene the Werewolf bobblehead current day, but I wish that they did because we would love to have fun, cool.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Cool merch. We actually used to do these cool things when we first got rolling. That was like when you bought merch, it kind of came in this like old school popcorn box that we refashioned to like say Gene the Werewolf things on it, and we'd stuff it with like your T-shirt would be in there, your record would be in there, and then it would be like zany stuff like like just grab bag things like werewolf teeth would be in there, like vampire teeth or whatever,
Yeah.
like spider rings, like just junk that we thought was funny to kind of like someone open this up and be like, what is this? Like, but it was just like trying to be, it was just going back to being weird and throwing someone for a loop. And
Sure.
we kind of, used to get off on that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, but I would love to do more stuff, but the altar bar will be a T-shirt and record merch table, and everyone will get a record for free. So
Yes, and that's awesome. That's very cool.
it is.
Who else is going to be playing? Is there going to be anybody playing, opening up for you
Yeah,
guys?
we have two support acts. The first of which is Millie, and I've known Seth and Johnny for a long time.
Mhm.
Seth used to play in a band called Runner Up, like way back when Clearview Kills, my first real band,
Yes.
was. We used to play together all the time. Hilarious dude, really funny, talented. And Johnny is Joe Grishecki's son.
Okay.
I'm sure he's haunted by that. People saying that all the time. I hate to do that to him, but yeah, Johnny's great as well, and they started that band together, and they're great. And then we're also Direct Support is a band. It's a new band that Josh from Dresky Entertainment had introduced to me.
Okay.
They're called
Josh Badicus.
Yeah, they're called Walkney, and they're out of Altoona. And these guys are, I think they've been in other bands. I don't know the guys personally, but they've been in other bands before from Altoona. And the cool thing that I thought was really caught my eye with them is they played their first show like in April.
Okay.
And they like sold out like this like small arena there. And I was
Wow.
like, who are you? Like, talk about making a splash, you know? And coming out of other bands, like we played Club Cafe, it's a 150 cap room and sold it out. These guys sold out like a 3,000 seat,
Wow.
like mini arena that like you would have ice skating in.
That's crazy.
And like I was like, he showed that to me. And I was like, yeah, sure, we'll have these guys down. And both Millie and Walkney do similar music. They kind of like pop rock stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna be the oddball on our own show, but that's always the case. So
That makes it fun, right?
this is us, yeah, the oddball.
Very cool. So you cannot miss it. It's going to be this Friday, which I guess when this airs, it'll be technically tonight. So
Yeah.
we'll air this after Geigs Got Games. So stop by tonight at the Altar Bar, 7 p.m. And it's going to be good times. You can you get a CD just by coming, and you can buy a T-shirt and wear it proudly. I'm thinking about like changing things and like maybe getting like different local band shirts and wearing it on air.
Yeah,
Just to kind of
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Maybe
everyone would support you'd be supporting the cause. So you'd
That's
be
right.
big fans across the local bands if you're not already.
That's right. So I'm hoping we're a fan of the local bands.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
We're
Who does
100%,
this?
24 hours local music. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
we're Pittsburgh's voice for local music here at riversedgepgh.com. So don't forget, tonight, 7 p.m. at the Altar Bar. You can drink there, so you can enjoy good music, enjoy some good drinks, and stumble out into the Strip District and Uber your way home.
Eat a Permani Brothers sandwich.
Yeah, you could eat a Permani Brothers sandwich to get yourself sobered up. It's like lots of Permanis. I feel like there's lots of I don't know, crap in there that could eat away the alcohol.
Oh yeah, I think it's like
crap,
the
right?
go-to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a safety precaution, really.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is a safety precaution.
It is, yes. So
Yeah.
you can.
I
hit
only
that
got
up.
like 25 streets to get home from there or something.
Oh,
so
there
if
you
I
go. So
had to,
you're
I gotta
set.
walk. Yeah.
I technically could. I could walk across the river, but I gotta go to work that evening, so I'll be
Oh,
coming
yeah.
straight from straight from the party to work. So
Ooh, talk about sobering up.
yeah, right. So especially where I work.
Ooh.
So. All right, but I will be there, so there's no excuses. I'll be going to work, and I'm still showing up, so there's no excuse for you. So stop out
That's right.
tonight, 7 p.m. at the Altar Bar for Gene the Werewolf's new release, The Loner. I'm Brian Crawford. This is Drew Donegan. You're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network.